Yo, what's good, everyone? In today's trade recap, this is how I made around $690 on the eval. Day trading the S&P 500, taking this exact short. So coming on the day, I was bullish, but I wanted us to get a pretty deep retrace. We've been pretty overextended on the 1 hour um, on this day, and we've left like free 1 hour for rally gaps to retrace to. So that's something I immediately keep mind of. And okay, I'm gonna kind of firstly get over this long right here. So we get an S&P on Nasdaq. We get onto a 1 hour gap on yes, we don't. We get a pretty clean 1 minute IVG with pretty solid displacement. As you can see, we just inversed it within one candle. You could have even caught it here, you know. The reason why I didn't enter this trade is because this was pretty early into market open, and it isn't really that big of a thing. As like there are times where there's a trade like right at market open, but the thing is, we're so overextended, and we do a tiny this was at that time, it was like here, so we do a tiny retrace. I mean, as you can see, we don't even break structure here on the 5 minute. This is a super little retrace, and basically since market open, we get one big solid candle, and then boom, we just chop around for a few minutes. So that already tells me this isn't really that good of conditions. So I wanted to kind of play more safely, So I didn't enter this trade, even though I kind of wanted to this. I think this was a 1 hour gap. Let me check real quick. Yes, this was a 1 hour gap. But I didn't end up taking it out. So I end up waiting for a retrace. We get a 5 minute break, obviously, or even like a 15 minute. We get this 5 minute gap, and then what happens? I think, actually on here, we get into equilibrium. I can mark it out if you don't believe me. We get into equilibrium, and what do we do then? We, again, pretty cleanly, I'm gonna get rid of this real quick, pretty cleanly, we inverse this gap. So, I was feeling like, okay, I might long this. But again, I don't long this. Now, why didn't I long this? I mean, we get a 5 minute retrace. We are in bullish structure. We technically got into that 1 hour gap, on this index. We got a clean 1 minute IFG out of equilibrium. Why didn't I enter? The big reason is that we already took out. Wait, I want to check something. Pretty significant draws of liquidity on this day. So now the more we take out of this significant draws of liquidity, the weaker I'm thinking that we're gonna continue this trend. We are already overextended. I don't think we're just gonna continue printing bullish candles forever, So again, I don't enter this. And what happens then? Now we get out of this 5 minute gap, we get a bullish candle. So people long, some people do long this. what the market does. All of these people just get completely manipulated. We inverse this gap, breaking structure, as you can see. Now I wait for any kind of I guess retrace. We get this little retrace here into equilibrium, and this 1 minute gap. And since we technically did broke structure on the 1 minute, I kind of wait for us to close below this low as like the confirmation that okay, this inverse and breaker structure isn't just a 15-minute retrace. So unfortunately, I would have entered it just straight up, but unfortunately this candle was pretty big, so it was more than like I would be okay just missing out on it. I just didn't want to enter like here. I wanted like any kind of 1 minute retrace. And yeah, I just set my limit at this 1 minute gap. We actually do get tapped into this order block here, and into equilibrium. So I could have even like put it here or here, but with this much like momentum and the way this candle closed, with a wick to the upside, I thought we would, get me like here and then just dump. That's kind of what we did. It wasn't like, wait, what the hell? What is going on? It was like a little bit choppy. This was my break-even point. It was like, yeah, almost 1 hour, or like these equal lows. I just put it here. And so why did I take it on the S&P? Well, S&P was the one that inversed and broke structure. I mean, we also broke structure on Nasdaq, but I saw us kind of guess not inversing it here yet, and we already entered into the 1 hour gap. So like technically we've got more new things to retrace to, and that's what we do. We do end up going into this 1 hour, into that 1 hour gap. This is a 1 hour gap. I think this is also a 1 hour gap. This maybe isn't one, and this is another 1 hour gap. And I entered 8 contracts, as you can see, here. And so I wanted to take like 6 contracts here and leave out 2 here, but thankfully I kind of saw us being kind of choppy, and I knew that we wouldn't take out even this low at the same time, as you can see. So keeping this SMT in mind, I just took it fully on here, and it's great because I would have gotten break even, just literally just straight into my break even and then dumping. You could have caught another setup here if you missed this one, as we retraced to this 5 minute. I think we also retraced into pretty deep equilibrium. You could have, I don't know, I either just entered it straight up here. Probably could have done that. Sorry. This is like a break even, I guess. Then you got, this was like a low or something. And into this 1 hour gap. Probably not later. Yeah, probably not later, as we just have this big candle. Maybe until to the wick. Although I think we're still gonna get to this previous day low. So yeah, overall, although this day started pretty choppy, I would say this was a pretty great day. And although I didn't enter this long, I would say it's a good long. The only thing is, like, yeah, we did a very light retrace. So I mean, if I see more of these things happening, like I miss out on trades because I see it as like a little retrace, then we might have to tweak something out. But the way I see it, I wouldn't. I would rather like be right that we're gonna go to this 1 hour gap and continue higher than enter and be right and miss out on it, then enter and boom. This is the market's recently been doing this pretty a lot. Like even this situation here, we get an inverse, but we just go to the completely opposite direction. And in March there has been plenty of examples of that. So we could just go up here and there's this gap. Boom, people are entering longs, and then what the market does, maybe another bullish candle, and then boom, just straight up dump. This could as well happen because not only this was a very weak retrace, especially with how overextended we were. Just how overextended we were. I mean, just look at that, bro. It was like right here. This is very overextended. I mean, we just continue printing bullish candles. So I would have rather missed out on it than be proven wrong, just because, for example, on the S&P we also wanted to retrace. On the S&P 500 we basically didn't retrace at all. We just swept these 1 minute lows and that's it. Here it was so choppy, we didn't really get any confluence except a breaker structure and retracing to the solid block here. So yeah, I'll rather stay patient, and it paid off today. Than enter and be proven simply wrong. Of course, today it wasn't that case of a scenario, but a lot of the time you could have been manipulated. So yeah, from what I saw, a lot of people died today. I guess this wasn't really that hard of a day. Really, the only thing you could have kind of get baited on was along here. But if you just saw how overextended we are, and that we don't really have like very significant draws to the upside, we've taken out a majority of them, then we probably would have waited for some more confirmation on it, and you wouldn't have lost. So yeah, I guess this is it. This is ending the week. I'm pretty green after the unfortunate edger I got on. Wait, was that Wednesday? I think so. Or wait, it was Tuesday. On Tuesday, the edger on Tuesday that I got would have been even more green, but it is what it is, I keeping that in mind, I was very careful with keeping everything where it should be. And yeah, just continuing forward. I've recently saw that, I don't know, everything just flows so well with me, and all glory to God for that. Just life's been moving on so great recently, and even today's day. I mean, I won't get in deep into it, but I just really hope all of you guys had at least as good of a day as mine. It was a really, really solid, happy day. So yeah, this is it for me. See you guys. First of all, thanks for sticking in to the end of this recap, and see you in the next trading week.